In our experience, MES has been very consultative with the industry as a whole. You can see from all their consult papers that they really take into consideration what the industry gives as feedback. And one thing that we have observed is that as a regulator, they have a fairly high level of understanding of the underlying technology, and they're not like giving just a blanket, oh, this anything to do with crypto is risky. No, in fact, they are they are very able to differentiate the use of the application and maybe only specific users of application of the blockchain technology, specific users of this DLT technology, which they may not want to encourage. Whereas as a whole, they may see that this technology might be an enabler for either new use cases or more efficient users of existing practices. So I think MES has been trying very much to learn, like they're just trying to figure out like how does this new technology work within the existing financial ecosystem, and does it create and expand the existing financial ecosystem? And I think that dialogue has been very, very important. And so in what Justine has mentioned, they are very eager to learn. They're very eager to understand. And I think in terms of the policy forming and the legislative process, they've also been very progressive. Right? In looking forward to the future, how should financial regulations be? What are those principles? And how then does it apply to these different new technologies that come up? So that's been our experience. And I think for most of the people who can see all the consult papers and see MES like explaining their policy positions, I think it becomes quite apparent that we, I would say, as a operator here in Singapore, I think we feel very confident and very comfortable that there's a level of visibility now and in the future.
Yeah, I think that in terms of myths, right, it's very often when you look at crypto Twitter especially, you will see extreme caricatures of the regulator's position.
Yes,
Okay?
yes.
So
yes.
it's either MES loves crypto or hates it.
Yes.
For some, it's like there's no middle ground,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So I remember back in 2018, suddenly President Taman, back then he was not president yet, but he was either chairman or something at MES. He suddenly came out in the news and said, I'm all for blockchain technology. It is the fraud and speculation I do not like. And I was thinking, why would he talk like crypto wasn't anything? You know, it wasn't that big. Then I open up my crypto Twitter, right?
Yeah.
And scammers are sending me stuff where they photoshopped his face and they put a quote in and said, you should buy this coin, you will moon. And I was like, that's what it was. That's what it was. You know, because he couldn't outright call out the coin because then you draw attention to the scammer, right?
Yeah.
You don't want that, right? So, but it was like, that's the nature of things. So then, of course, the delusion in crypto Twitter start to separate that into some extreme examples. So for us, when we were at Sparrow, and doing the license application, now remember, derivatives is not a regulated activity for digital assets, especially at that time. We just focus on spot money changing, basically. And so we said, but you know, they're not going to like it if we don't tell them the full scale of what we're doing. So we did. We took the plunge. We said, we'll file a 60-page filing and let them know exactly what we're doing end to end. We were never penalized. We were never, you know, treated badly or whatever. Instead, we got very relevant, good questions to understand. All the questions were on the basis of trying to understand our business and our model. Now, I'll tell you this. Another company we're friends with, and they filed, you won't believe it, they filed their own self-written legal opinion. And they said, no, because now MES has come out and said that they are all for crypto. So they were taking a very bullish approach. They said, we filed a 1-page legal opinion. And I went, on your business, you're doing some interesting stuff, you know, you're not that different from us. They go, no, it's obvious. Everyone knows what Bitcoin is. And I'm like, oh God. So this is what I mean. Like sometimes we have these very extreme views of, you know, or when MES says we want as many people to apply, then they take it as, why is MES taking so long to issue the license? I thought you want more license holders.
Mm,
But actually they don't realize that what MES wants is high quality license holders,
mm,
responsible ones. So, and that takes a bit more work. It takes a bit more time.
Yeah, definitely.
yes.
I mean, there's this online, particularly, there is a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of misinformation that happens on platforms like Twitter or X. And the only way to really combat that is to talk to people who've actually done it, who've actually gone through it, and then to have a good relationship with the regulator. I would say with the regulator, and I think that that's probably a best practice is to, set up and establish that relationship first. You don't just walk up to your friend that you haven't seen in 2 years and say, "Hey, let me borrow your car." You
Yeah.
basically need to have an ongoing relationship, and that might be something that there's a huge opportunity for people to do. Is
Yes.
and this is not just for Singapore, but generally in any sort of regulatory spaces, have that relationship, have that ongoing conversation. That consultative process that you're
Yes.
talking about.